Hi guys, we're back with another episode of Two Absolute Units. Today, one of our units couldn't make it because she's half a unit and not an absolute, so she got too drunk and fell asleep. So we have the effervescent Hannah Strom instead as my co-host, instead of Juicy Momo / Shatanya Dick. We also have our very special guest, Bea Brat.
Hi.
Yes, all the way from Columbus. She is a drag musician. She's fucking incredible. I will say you genuinely, Bea, are one of my biggest inspirations towards music because, like, I'm the sort of person who has, like, I've toured and taught music before, but I can't write music the way you do. You know what I mean? Like, I can't sit there and come up with lines and verses and concepts the way that you can. I think that's really commendable, and I wish that I could.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And I think, like, for a long time, I was, like, really hard on myself. And I was, like, there are times where I write lyrics and I'm, like, I could write something deeper or whatever. Yeah. But over time, I learned, like, everybody's writing style is completely different. And, like, talking to other musicians and other people in general, like, telling them about my writing process and stuff, it's helped build, like, more confidence. I think I have, like, this fear, too, of, like, I never want to be in a position where I'm not humble, or, like, I never want to come off as, like, egotistical. And so it scares me to say things that are okay to say, to be confident in myself with.
Yeah.
So, but I appreciate that. Thank you so much. I, like, recently, especially, like, during quarantine, like, especially, like, towards the beginning when I was doing, like, live drag shows and stuff online, I was feeling, like, really unmotivated, or not unmotivated, but uninspired. It was really difficult. And, like,
I completely agree. I feel like there's a complete difference between being like, I'm in front of an audience and now I'm in my living room and 9 people are watching.
Yeah,
but your looks were so good. They were, like, some of my favorite. Like, I even told you on one of your shows that, like, I really like your aesthetic. I love your style. And it's been really cool because, like, when I first met you, you've evolved so much since then, and your makeup style has evolved.
Well, and, like, the interesting thing is that, like, when you met me, I had been in drag for, like, 4 years, but that was also in between 3 years of me living in California for school, where I was touring and teaching and had no free time to evolve my drag. And so, like, although I'd been doing drag for so long, when I came back, it was, like, a complete reversal and restarting of what I want my aesthetic to be and how I want to look and how I, like, that's when I shaved my brows. That's when I was like,
we were just talking about that. Like, a really old picture of you popped up, and it was, like, clearly, like, trying to be, like, that fishy pageant
pretty
queen.
girl,
and I was like,
who
is this? Who is this person?
Yeah. And now I'm like, I'm just your average demon witch. I don't know.
Yes, a spooky icon.
I think everybody kind of, I think almost everybody starts kind of that way. I mean, I'm sure there are some, like, especially alternative artists that just went straight, like, head and first with the alternative look. Yeah. But, like, me, I remember, like, some of my first pictures, I definitely tried to get that, like, pretty, like, polished.
Yeah, totally.
Just, like, I don't know, like, but also, like, makeup is new. You want to start simple, like, when you're first getting into it.
Makeup is ever evolving in the same sense, so it's like you can't expect to always look pretty, and you can't expect to always look crazy either. Because I do both, right. You do both, but, like, you can't expect to have one or the other. It's like I feel like in the evolving, right, or do neither. Yeah, I feel like in the evolving of makeup, you find a way to be looking crazy, but to you, you're like, I did that shit. Like, I look fucking incredible right now. And you do. You know what I mean?
You can be beautiful and crazy.
Totally.
Yeah, you can. I think it's also cool when you, like, find how to make the beautiful, like, your style. Yeah, or, like, mix it with that, so it's like... I feel
like, especially recently, well, I mean, you have always been really good at branding your looks, like, with the duct tape headpiece that you always used to do. That was, like, your brand of beauty, you know what I mean?
That was the first time I saw you perform, and I was like, that bitch's head is duct taped on. I'm not.
I can say in complete honesty, I've never seen another queen do a complete duct tape headpiece.
Mine was blown. And I've never forgotten.
I think it's the same thing with me and doing, like, 2 different colored eye contacts and the way I've been doing my lips recently. Like, I think that you and I both know what makes us feel really pretty to the audience, and I think that feeling pretty helps make a better performance because you're able to, like, feel confident.
Yeah, I feel like whatever makes you feel confident And if like other people might be like, wait, what? But like if it makes you feel good, you're gonna do good on stage.
Exactly.
You're gonna
It's not even just drag, that's fucking life. If
Yeah.
you look good, you feel good, then you're gonna fucking, that's like, they tell you that shit, like, I've been telling people that in quarantine. I'm like, they're like, I'm sad, I haven't done anything all day. I'm like, I bet you've been wearing that same outfit for 3 days and you haven't gotten dressed and put on makeup, and that's why you feel shitty. And it's like, you have to get ready, and you have to like, you have to feel beautiful to be beautiful.
Totally.
And even in actions, because you think of like, if you're productive and you get shit done, even if you don't feel good, like about yourself personally, if you're doing stuff that's like progressive, like cleaning your room or like doing something business wise, like getting a show together, it makes you feel good. But that, I feel like that they play into each other. Whereas like, if you feel good about how you look, you're going to go out there and do stuff like, get shit done.
The way that you view your own performance and the way you view yourself. Totally.
Yeah, exactly. And then, but it also like affects so hard your interactions with other people. If you're feeling
and
yeah,
like, I want to ask you, how did you come up with your concept for the way that you do your makeup now? Because I feel like your makeup is similar to mine in the sense that you do the same things, but you do it with different colors. You do it with different like add-ins, stuff like that. But how did you come up for your original like base for how you do your quote unquote natural makeup?
Natural makeup? Or like just my go-to.
As in like when I see
my go-to Bea.
When I hear Bea Brat, I expect to see like the V's going down. I expect to see something on the forehead. I expect like the contour and like the big lips. Like, how did you come up with that concept for that?
You know, a lot of it was like, okay, some of it was from my drag mom, who used to go by Antidote, and now she goes by Hollywood. But she definitely gave me like little tips here and there. She was the one that thought of the under eye, or I think I did like the triangles because I saw some like really cool like weird like clown like picture, and I was like, oh, let me just try doing that. And then she was like, ooh, try add like shading it and like try adding like white in there. Do this
to it.
And
totally.
Yeah, and though I really appreciate her for helping me with makeup, because what she would do, she would never tell me what to do. She would suggest little things here and there. She would never do like I think she's done my full face like 2 times maybe, just because she was like, let's try something completely different for you and see what you like, and then you could take what you like from it. So she's a really good drag mom. Like, she's a really, like, I've learned so much, and she never overstepped like boundaries. Like, she always respected my space. And like the thing with the forehead, I actually saw this picture of Layla McQueen, and she had
she's a fierce makeup artist.
Yeah, she had cunt on her forehead, and I have a big forehead, and I'm like, this is a canvas. We need to put something on there. So I was like, people, when they see you, the first thing they see is your face. And I was like, it's really good if you have, even if it's like just a design or something cute or whatever, like if I could put a message there that's important, that would be really dope.
Yeah.
And so like, I've
seen you do like, just off the top of my head, I've seen you do ACAB, I've seen you do the Anarchy sign, I've seen you do the Satanist.
I wrote Cops Are Pigs once, but
yeah,
I've done like the biohazard symbol. I just like to I did a grinder symbol once and it looked horrible, but people got it.
I love that. I mean,
as a everyone got it.
When I did, we'll get to in a moment about your new song that you just released, but when I did 911 at the cabaret, I was thinking of you because I was like, I need to do something on my forehead if I'm going to do Bea's song. But the first, like, I was like, I know I want to save that for later in the set. Like, I don't want to do that first because people are going to be like...
Do you want to, like, build up to that?
Yeah, I wanted to build up to it. And, like, originally I wanted to use a projector, but it didn't work out in the performance setting. But anyway, so the first song that I did was an alien mix. So I was like, work. So if I'm doing an alien mix, and if I'm doing a song by Bea where I want to have something on my forehead, I can mix the two. And that's when I did the look where I had the eye on my forehead.
Yes. Yeah, that's so sick. Yeah, I did see it. Yeah, I thought that was so cool. I just feel like after you use that space too, like, you're gonna want to use it more. And we have like all this space here, but contour goes over. Maybe we'll put some glitter. And I try to like add some of my best like makeup looks have been where I've gotten done like early, and I can actually like add detail. Because I'm not like super pressed about detail as long as like if you perform good, if you're entertaining the crowd, like the makeup is the last concern, you know? But if I have extra time.
I am, or Jessica Marie beats me at that. The show that I had when I did your song, Jessica Marie Jones messaged the group chat and she was like, I'm on the way, but I got out of work late. I'm in an 8-minute face. Don't judge me. And she got there and that bitch looked immaculate. I was like, what the fuck? Like, why?
I believe it. Like time.
Your whole face. Like, how can you even do that? I would have been like, I need at least 30
minutes to put on
mascara with like stabbing myself in the eye.
Right.
I'm like,
the fastest that I painted before was 22 minutes, but that was with my old face where I was painting more naturally.
I've seen you paint faster than that. That's a lie.
With my old face, the natural one. But with my face that I paint now with the big eyeliner that I put like through my hoods and shit, that like the fastest that I painted in that was 34 minutes, and that's when I was working at Tara's show when Morgan was Bucket Girl.
Yeah, it's like I feel like it's really good to like figure out your fast pace, because for some certain gigs there was like a minute there where I was performing at Union here in Columbus, and they would have like the show would start at 11:15, technically 11, but you know drag time 11:15
exactly.
So
I would always start at 10, but it's 10:15, 10:20.
Right. And so I would work at CVS. I was a shift supervisor there for a while, and I got off at 10. So I'd have to rush my ass home. I'd put on like maybe 10, 15 minutes max, like face, and head straight to the bar. Right. And so luckily, I realized the more shit you put on your face, the better you look.
Yeah, exactly. So, like, the more shades. Because that's true, because when I worked at Mr. Sushi full time, I would get off at 10 and have to be at Mixwell's performing. Like, the show started at 10:30, and I was like, I get out at 10. Like, I haven't shaved, I haven't, like, da-da-da. Or, like, if I got out first cut, I would leave by, like, 9, and I would have to be there by 10:30 and performing. So I would go, like, straight there, and I would shave and immediately get in drag, and I could paint in, like, 15 minutes. But that was back in the day when my makeup wasn't as graphic as I paint now.
Yeah, because all of that, like, especially the graphicness that you do in your, like, lips and your eyes, like, that little detail, you need a couple extra minutes for each little detail.
Yeah.
And so it makes it more difficult.
I learned that from Mary Fagdalin and Lady Dumpster. They came over one night and painted.
Oh, yeah, they do that, yeah.
Yeah, and they painted my roommate with me, and they painted me as well, and they were, like, teaching me the ways of the white liquid eyeliner. Now I just use Ben Nye white cream, but still same thing. It still works. But yeah, that was definitely like a moment where I was like, whoa, I can take this. And like the reason I started even painting like that was because when I shaved my head bald for Drag Me to Hell, I would walk into gigs and everyone would be like, Stixon's here. It's gonna be a great show. And so I was like, I need to do something to switch up everything. You know what I mean? Like I need to like, differentiate myself even further.
Yeah. And that's what I like about you, because I think it's, like I was saying earlier, like I feel like I've known you for a good minute, but I've definitely like stalked your photos and stuff. And I think like the growth that you've shown recently is like so massive that it like is like more than the entire time you've done it.
You were the first person to book me out of city.
It was me and Bev, right?
Yeah.
Was it for Brat Pack?
Yeah. You were
that was my
me out of town.
Yeah, no, that was and you guys also came, but you were out of drag first and nude, right?
No, that was the one where Betty was wearing the gown and she was like, should I don't, it's such a gorgeous gown. Why would you pour blood on it?
That's coming from Stixon.
But Stixon doesn't she's not gonna use it again.
Right. No, that was so fun. And that's why
cool gag. And that was when you told Stix, like, come back with Aura, do it too.
Yeah, no, for sure, yeah. Yeah, that was fun.
Okay, I'm totally changing the subject, and I want to talk about your song.
Yes.
Okay.
That's released the music video to 911.
Yeah.
And you just announced that Evie Oddly will be on the remix.
Yeah.
Which I have no idea about.
So we watched the music video. We've cried.
Yeah.
I cried at the end. I was like,
that's really every time it ends, and we're like.
I'm gonna be honest too. Like when I made the song, it was like very electro pop and whatever. It was like very like a skeleton beat, and then one of my Twitter mutual friends, Ricky whatever, he's the one that sings at the end of the song. Mm-hmm. He added like 808s and like polished the track and did the whole entire ending and like switched it up at the end, and he's so talented. And when I heard it for the first time, I got emotional because I was like, holy shit.
It's very in your face, but in a good way.
You can even hear the emotion in your fucking voice.
In the very beginning, when you're doing the voiceovers and you're saying like, can you sleep? Like,
in the video,
because this person couldn't, or George Floyd couldn't. Can you sleep? Because Breonna Taylor couldn't. Like, you can hear that you were emotional recording that, and I think that's really, really commendable and really cool in the sense that it's like you are not afraid to wear those emotions that are very real that a lot of people are feeling, but you are saying, I'm going to not only feel these emotions, but broadcast them to YouTube and put it out there for everyone else to hear my voice and my emotions and feel the same way.
And the most beautiful art too.
Yeah, totally.
We know your main inspiration of that song. Fuck the police.
Yeah.
Kill them all.
Yeah.
But is there like a personal inspiration or any sort of...
I get what you mean. Is there anything else that
I don't know the right phrasing, but I know what you mean. Yeah.
You're like,
can you read my brain?
Yes, I can read your brain. I think you're trying to say like, is there anything else that inspires me that wouldn't be obvious to like the general public of what's going on? So sonically, when it comes to music, I'm very, very, very inspired by Peaches. So like Peaches is like so good, and it's always just like drums and 808s, and it's like a simple pattern, but it's like so good. It's like they're bops.
It's so rock, that's right.
Yeah, and like I love that so much because like, especially, it's funny that you say like it's so wrong that it's so right. It's like in the music world, I feel like a lot of people like they overdo it with sounds in a song, and sometimes it's okay to keep it simple. So anyway, that's like sonically, that's what inspired me. But personally, I think it's been like a little frustrating that a lot of like artists, drag performers, and just like artists in general, even like social influencers on Instagram and like social media, they've gone back to doing their regular stuff. They like trended what was like going on and happening. And I think a big part of me was like, I still want to do my art, but I still want to keep things relevant.
For sure.
Yeah, and just like even my own personal experiences, I will never understand what a Black person goes through, or any type of people of color like go through when it comes to the justice system, when it comes to like everyday experiences. My experience, I did have like a very personal experience with police officers, and it was with my father. And I was younger. I ran away from home. I came back. My dad called the police on me, or the police got called on me because me and my dad got into a physical altercation. And my dad's a piece of shit. I hate him so much. But anyway, he, at the time I was like in 10th grade, and I was dealing with a lot of like suicidal like ideations and a lot of depression, just trying to like discover myself. My mom was like very Republican Christian, like, so it was just difficult growing up. And in this time, we got in this physical altercation, the police came. I expressed to my dad that I was having these like feelings and emotions, and my dad and the police officer talked about it in front of me, and they laughed about it. And like, that was my first experience with any kind of like law enforcement. Yeah. And so like from that point on, like, especially me being just like a white person, I was also openly like bisexual at the time. So, and I like had colored hair, I had like some piercings. I was like, obviously, I was like very flamboyant and stuff. And, yeah, very queer. And that was like obvious to the officer. Anyway, the officer was like a white male and older, my dad's age. So, and my dad is like the type of person, he's very shitty, but he can easily make people like love him. And like, he just is like, I'm a great dad, and
look how straight I can trim these hedges.
Right.
Yes, very that, like the neighbors love him. But that experience alone, I think it kind of like inspires and adds a flame to that rage of like what's going on. And like if this is what I experienced, I can imagine the anger that I would experience if one of these people killed a family member of mine, of a friend of mine, of
because God knows what could have happened if you were Black at that point in time.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Absolutely. And yeah, so like that was just a big like inspiration for, I just like hate fucking police. I hate
fuck the police.
Yeah, fuck the police.
Yeah, no, fuck the police, but don't fuck the police.
Yeah, don't fuck the police. Like, fuck the police.
I went on a Tinder date one time, and this man was a security guard. And then he tells me he's also in cop school. And I said, I have to go. Really I have to run.
Oh, no, yeah,
and then he, like, sent me a text, because I think I, like, sent him, I was, like, probably pretty hammered. And I was like, leave me alone. Go murder Black people and statistically be more likely to beat your wife. Don't talk to me. And and then he sent me a text, like, he'd send me a text, like, out of the fucking blue, like, a week ago, like, just busy beating my wife and killing people. And I'm like, what the? How out of touch are you?
Like, you can even joke about that.
This is like a funny joke
I know.
of some girl you met on the internet.
Yeah, that's really gross. That's the fact that he's acknowledging, like, especially with what's going on. Like, that's, beyond me. I don't know. That's gross. I just, like, I hate them all.
Totally.
Fuck them all. Totally.
Like, and like, part of me, a lot of people are like, there are good cops out there and this and that. And, like, I understand that. I don't think every single one of them is bad. Just, like.
I think the way that I view it is that there are good people that are cops, but there are not good cops. Because what I want systematically signing up for a system that hurts minorities and especially people of color. And so it's like, yes, there are good people that happen to be cops, but that doesn't make them good cops because all cops are bad.
Well, I've heard an argument from a lot of, like, my Wisconsin white friends who are like, if you have a problem with it, maybe you should become a cop and change it. And I'm like, okay, then let's talk about.
Just put me in the same system.
Okay, well then, if that's really how you think, let's talk about all the cops who actually have spoken up and have been mysteriously committed suicide or murdered weeks later.
Disappeared. Well, yeah, that's what I was gonna bring up too. I was gonna bring up the fact that, like, it's probably scary to those that are, like, police officers or in law enforcement and they do hate it, or maybe they were like just were ignorant about the situation. They didn't know, they went in because it was like a family thing, or like they had friends or whatever the case may be. Like, they might be blackmailed for doing what they're doing. They might be, we don't know the extent of what it's like to be in that position. But at the end of the day, I don't know, I just feel like, these, like, your coworkers or like the police force that you're working for might be really upset at you or like do some crazy shit if you like are standing with Black Lives Matter or this or that. Just turn in your badge though. I feel like COVID, if anything, has taught people we can figure stuff out without jobs. Totally. Like, I would rather literally be jobless and staying with friends or like figuring shit out than be associated with anything of like racist.
Opens, like, you can go work at Kroger's, you can work at Target, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, or like, and anything's better. Like, it's salaried. Yeah, it pays great. Yeah, it's like a reliable job. But at the end of the day,
things that I have learned, in part of, like, not just via the protests, but in other people's, like, deep dives into the problems with the police, statistically, when you realize when you look at the arrests of specifically people of color for minor weed offenses, they happen at the end of a cop's shift because it takes hours and hours for them to fill out the paperwork so they can get fucking overtime.
Yep.
And I'm like, you're just arresting people for money? Like,
yeah.
And that's why it shouldn't. That's why it should be no overtime, salary based. You're signing up for this, and you are doing this. defund the police.
And the
Absolutely.
police should be accountable to the fucking laws as
Exactly.
well.
Yeah.
There shouldn't be any case
care.
where they're like, oh, my camera just happened to turn off. That shouldn't happen.
I'm sorry,
Your
you
camera should be on.
turned
I know.
Your fucking shift because it doesn't accidentally
And
turn off.
regardless,
You
if
flick
your
that
camera
switch.
turned off while you were shooting someone, it sounds like murder to me.
Yeah, it sounds
Yeah,
like you're guilty.
yeah,
Like,
absolutely.
that's the shit guilty people do.
Right.
Yep.
God.
Your body cam should be on. If you commit
They
any
shouldn't
sort of
be able to
crime,
turn
you
it
should be
off.
held.
They shouldn't be allowed to, I agree.
But you know what? If any crime should be committed by a white police officer, they should be held at the same level and get punished at the same level as they're doing blacks, if that's what they want to do.
Honestly, I'm like, a police officer should be held to a higher standard. It
6
takes more
weeks.
hours to become a barber in Ohio than it does a cop.
I know,
And that's
which is ridiculous. The worst part about it is that I would like for all of this to change, but it's going to take a really long time before we set before things do change. But I hope that it really does come around, and I hope that this is like the first massive step.
I mean, I think we're seeing like some awesome change already, and people are like, well, it's not enough and it's only this little bit, and I'm like, okay, well, that's like, we can't diminish those things we're already seeing. Like,
I want to mention
the fact that people are actively considering the idea of defunding the police, that's giant. I don't care if it's this tiny little city or
no, that's
New
exactly
York
what I'm saying.
City or whatever the fuck. That's a huge
movement.
fucking change in all of our shit. That
Yeah, totally. And I do want to mention, I saw a tweet that said, like, until this shutdown and these protests going on, I did not realize that the United States was a third world country.
Mm-hmm.
And it's true.
Because we're taught and brainwashed.
We're fucking amazing. We're going to shut you down. Like, we're, like, incredible, da-da-da. And it's like, no, we really do treat people like less and get away with it because...
Well, that's the rhetoric that led to this dumb orange fuck being our president. Like...
I mean, when we go through school, we're taught... We're so brainwashed, and we're taught... They picked and choose what goes into our history books, what we're taught. They didn't say... Let's actually teach real history. They said, what do we want them to think?
They want history sound nice.
Because, I mean, when did either of you hear about Stonewall in school? When did you hear about...
Never. Actually, fun fact, in 7th grade, I did a history report on the history of drag because I watched RuPaul's Drag Race one time.
In 7th grade?
In 7th grade. And it was sparkly and pink, and it was really fucking cute.
I love that.
And my teacher gave me an A,
like,
and usually I didn't get an A.
Well, and also the fact that, like, even looking back at pictures from, like, Martin Luther King Jr.'s time, like, those are all in black and white, but, like, it's recently been addressed that they're originally not. They're just put in black and white in history books so that we think that they're from a long time ago, so we disassociate from them.
And then we disassociate, like, Helen Keller and Martin Luther King are the same fucking age.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Would have been the same age as my dad.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Like, this shit is real and relevant and very present, and
really important.
Don't listen to them.
Totally.
Yeah. I mean, you could just, like, think solely on the fact of, like, how many influential Black people have, like, been in great positions, have done amazing things that we never learned about in high school, or, like, never learned about in middle school.
That's like, more like, what more are we not hearing about that they already have done?
Well, it was.
You know what I mean?
Or how about you, if you're gonna tell us if you're gonna teach us about the shitty doings of other countries, you might as well, like, lay the pages out on the table and teach us the shitty things that America has done too, that we shouldn't be doing anymore. And because you know what, they want to talk about slavery. But you know what they talk about slavery with? Abraham Lincoln freed the slaves.
That exactly.
And then they don't talk
like, okay, but what about
the
us
reason
actually?
for the Civil War isn't slavery, even though in the Articles of Secession, more than half of it was about slaves. So
yeah, and also they don't want to talk about, like, you know, like the Westernization movement about moving Native Americans towards that side, and then closing in on them and
vividly
shit like that.
remember reading
they
about
talk about
the
it,
Trail of Tears.
Yeah.
And when I read it, I was like, okay, yeah, whatever. And then the older I get, I'm like,
That's fucked
holy
up.
fucking
Yeah.
shit.
But that's
Wait,
the point. Is
that
they
was
want
one
you to think that
paragraph in my textbook?
Yeah,
Are you fucking
exactly.
kidding me?
But that's the
Like,
thing, they
what
want you
the
to think
fuck?
that it's whatever, because they want you to forget about it and
Yeah.
move on so that it's done with. But it's not.
Well, and then
It
it's
won't
so
be.
it's so clear it's the misinformation too, because my father is a very fucking smart, educated man, a fucking Trump voter. And I've gotten into my mom, which God love her, said, if you put a Trump sign in my front yard, we will all move out. And I was like, yes, bitch. Yes.
Oh,
Oh.
Marianne.
And she's been becoming woke as fuck. She has read White Fragility and is reading all the books she needs to be reading. And my little sister is like 16, so she's prime like, Dad, you're a racist. Like, come on. And I'm like, yes, yell at him, get him. And so her and my dad watched the documentary 13th on Netflix.
Mm.
And at the
That's a
end of
good
it,
one.
at
Me
the
and
end
Mama
of
watched
it,
that
my
recently.
dad goes, felons don't get to vote? And I was like,
You didn't know that?
and he goes, that's insane. They, like, felons who are out of jail, like, who already served their time. And I'm like, it's so clear that this is just active misinformation.
Yeah,
Like, and it's like,
totally.
he has his faults as a old white guy, but, like, it's clear that, like, he thinks these
He was
things of what he's
brainwashed.
told,
Right.
and all it took was one, like, dumbass Netflix documentary for him to be like,
Oh, shit.
wait a second, that's
Yeah.
not right.
Yeah, but that just goes to show you is like, well, how many other like forms of like information are there that could really like
That
make
are
you have like a wake up call?
Yeah, totally,
Yes, and
totally.
it's just like, it's so like, it makes me want to cry, and it's so sad and
It's
so
eye-opening.
disappointing and eye-opening that it's like this hour and a half documentary made my dad say, wait, let me readjust.
Right.
thing.
And
it's
you
like,
think
all
about
that
that, imagine if he like saw a documentary or read a book on what it's like to be a Black trans woman in America.
right?
Yeah.
Like that would shake some people up, because you think about all the deaths that happen, like
Mhm.
consistently, all of the mistreatment, not only being a person of color, but being a trans individual on top of that. Like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Like that has to be scary, terrifying, and like that is just
I can't imagine.
just for someone to live their life and be happy and mind their own fucking business.
Right? Someone's
Exactly.
not
The
fucking
bullshit that
doing
entails.
anything.
Right, totally.
We need to take a page out of
Punish.
this book and murder the rich and eat them.
Yeah.
I am
Fuck them.
hungry.
Jeff Beelzebub can
Can you read this? Can you read this?
On the palm. I love it.
Eat
Yeah.
the rich. Yeah.
Good.
On that note, I need a snack.
On that note, I need to pee, so let's take a quick 2 or 3 minute break, Bea, and we'll be right back.
Yeah.
And we're back. So this is our special cup from Cabaret, where they charge you $25 for a cocktail, and you get the souvenir cup. And I'm gonna have to go back and get more of them.
I
But
think it'll fit real nice.
in our
like,
cabinet,
right here.
in our chicken cabinet, in the first episode, I talked about how I have very many, a shocking amount of chickens, and they're all in the cabinet behind us.
They're
But
in your
that's not what we're
tchotchke
talking-
cabinet.
Do what?
It's your tchotchke cabinet.
Period. Yeah, they're tchotchke. But that's not what we're talking about this episode. This episode, we're talking about music with the one and only Bea Brat. So I want to ask you, I know you have a project coming out soon. Is it an EP? Is it an album? What's the tea?
It's an album.
A whole album?
And it just keeps getting more and more songs.
So how many so far?
We can't wait.
I think right now I have 12 songs. I feel like by the time I submit it, because the due date and the date that it's coming out is very soon. But by the time we get to that, I feel like it's gonna be like a 15-track album, maybe.
That's fierce.
I think,
Okay.
yeah.
I guess I have another question then. Are you
Yes.
going to be releasing 2 versions of 911? Or
Well,
is it
yeah.
only have
Well,
one
3.
album?
3,
3?
actually.
Better than one.
Yeah.
Oh,
I feel like I can say one of them, because I just announced, was it yesterday? The Evie?
yes.
Yeah. Yesterday I announced the remix with Evie, which is like super dope.
Which I
And-
think is really incredible. I don't.
Which,
I
so
don't-
like,
scared
Evie,
to have exclusive content, but I have heard it and it's really fucking incredible, bitch. Like I'm really
yeah, and the version that you heard too was like very like thrown together really quickly. But like Ricky, the one that sings at the end, like kind of like reproduced like the part that Evie's on and kind of like mixed it up a little bit. And it's still like that was still demo stage, so it's gonna sound even better when it's like the final version, and I should be getting that in like a day or two. So I haven't even heard like the actual like finished version. Yeah, so but it's so dope, and it's funny because she like messaged me and said that the song was fire, and I was like,
what the fuck?
So,
Yeah,
like,
I fell out. I would have been like, what the fuck?
I did. I was like, what the fuck?
Right.
But Evie's drag child, Neurotica Kills, is in the song.
Yes.
So it like and Evie has or like was already following me when we worked together at Axis. Which was really cool. Like I'm super thankful Virginia like booked me for that because I actually was like asked Virginia to like work it.
I remember pictures and being gagged. I was so jealous.
Yeah, oh my god, we smoked a blunt together. It was glorious. And like Evie's so down to earth and so nice and like so sweet. And so
I found her to be very sweet and very cool.
yeah, like she's so awesome. And like one thing I've always like learned like when it comes to like just like life in general and like whatever, it never hurts to ask a question. Like the worst that you can hear is like a no if it's something that you're hoping for or like be ignored. And my friend, do you know who Mr. is from North Carolina? Who does? Okay, Mr.'s like a really fucking cool drag queen from North Carolina. She runs this show with Vegas Van Dank called Creep Show. Yeah, so they like work together and like
I didn't realize that Mr. was in it.
Yeah, Mr. like hosts it with Vegas, and Mr. was like, girl, you should just ask Evie to be on the song. And I was like, I'm scared, like I don't know.
Like I would be too.
And so yeah, and then so I'll just one night I like was like, let me just ask. Like
fuck it,
every time I've done that, like yeah, there's been like a fair amount of like no's or like no answers, but like that I have had like really cool stuff happen.
Yeah,
so
well, this time you got an answer.
Yeah, and you worked with Aja as well in the past, and that was really sick.
Yeah.
I will say the two queens that I've heard of so far that you've worked with from Drag Race, those are two of my favorites. So I was always
same
gagged that you were able to like get them because it's like, whoa, like those are really cool personalities and also very good at music too.
Yeah, definitely. And I think that's why I love them so much is because like I know Evie too is like trying to like focus more on like a musical career.
Yeah.
At least from like what I'm told and seen. And from
Aja has also been like all over the place saying how she's like, I don't perform in drag anymore unless I'm doing like a show for my music. I don't like doing drag shows anymore. And you have said the same thing a couple times.
Yeah. And I think that's what like just not only made me be more inspired by them and the paths that they're taking through music, but like just be able to relate and like connect with them so that we have been able to work together. And so Aja and I actually have like another song on the album together. And so yeah, it's actually it's the title track to my album, which
is called what?
It's called Heavy Metal Princess. And so Aja's on that track, and so is Ricky, who sang at the end of 911. So it's like, and it's very, I don't know if you guys have you guys heard 100 Gex? Like music? Okay, well, it's like very inspired 100 Gex. It's like very electro. It's very like cool. But it's all about like, the track is all about being like pretty, but like wanting to kill people. Like wanting to like, you know, like it's about like it's really like Heavy Metal Princess is about like, even though like I feel like princess is like a word that like we associate with being like female and like femme, like I think it's a very like, I don't know why, but I just like love the word like princess. And then we mix it. I guess what I'm trying to say is like my drag is very like inspired by the juxtaposition of like pretty and ugly, or like really, really grimy and like pretty like I just love like pink and polished and like, you know, like glitter.
I really feel that because I'm wearing lavender or like a baby pink, but at the same token, I have X's for eyebrows and 2 different colored eyes.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
exactly.
Pink and polish and duct tape on wigs.
Period.
Yeah, exactly.
What more do you need?
So, yeah, Aja's on that
still
track.
on the floor about that first show that I ever saw you at, and I was like, how did you get inside my brain?
I love it so much, like the whole clash of things. Like I like a lot of things that have like a complete, like you take one thing and you find another thing that's a complete 180 and you mash it together, and like sometimes it could be like horrible, but sometimes it could be like
the only move, like
it can really
Metal Princess.
yeah, and like, but also too, like what was I gonna say? Like, it's almost like a thing where you think about, hold on, I'm trying to like formulate the words in my head, like a gender fuck. Like, you know, you like take two things that were so used to being like a boy and a girl, and you just like like smash it together, and you're like, this is something that to you is like doesn't make sense, but then it makes you question things and wonder like why, and then you're like, wait, this is like pretty, but it's also like scary, but it's also like cool, and it's like just something of its own.
And that's what makes things interesting, is because a pretty thing is not interesting, it's pretty.
Yeah.
And that has its own.
And it can be interesting, but I think that it's more interesting when it has a concept involved with it that's the complete opposite of it, as Bea was saying.
Yeah, absolutely. Wait, I also think that this podcast might be out after I release the track list anyway. I'm just like, I love and appreciate and support and like am thankful for like anyone who cares about like me or you, like to the point where they've watched like this much of the shit. So
that's
if you've watched that far, you deserve.
Now they're gonna look at it anyway.
Yeah. So what was I gonna say? So yeah, Evie was like,
right now we're not showing the album artwork. You're just talking about the set list, and then you can really
no, not even the set list. The name of the album. That's like
what it is. The name
that's the perfect amount of simmer time to like leave everyone on the edge.
Yeah, because you're releasing the artwork and releasing the album name later. That's like all the set list and everything else.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so on this new upcoming album, you have both a feature with Evie and Aja. Are there any other features that you would like to expand upon in your album that you're dropping?
So I'm still in the talks with certain people.
Okay.
So nothing's confirmed yet, but I definitely do have a confirmed song with Chase Icon.
Are you serious?
Yeah. You didn't know that?
My heart just dropped. I'm so obsessed and excited. Like I would die for Chase Icon.
I love Chase Icon so much, and she's so supportive and nice to me. And like, wait, actually, I know you love Chase Icon because
there's screenshots of me floating on Twitter of me on her live commenting every single second.
Yes, yeah.
Sarah Tanner was behind her. Lady Gaga's makeup.
Yes, yeah.
Sarah Tanner was behind you. Watch out. I just love stupid shit on her lives. But
so I found Chase when like the original Kylie Jenner video like went viral. Yeah, and so it was like when it was like not that popular. It got like maybe like a couple thousand retweets, but she still didn't have that many followers and stuff. She followed me back. I was like messaging her like, you're so funny. Like, this is so amazing. You need to do more of these. And she like loved my drag. She like was super supportive and sweet. And then we actually like talked about doing this because it was right after, I'm pretty sure it was right after I was like, did Pretty, or like talked about Pretty with Aja, which I think was in January because I went and stayed with Aja in New York for a week. Yeah. And so like, I think around the end of January, it might have even been before that. It might have been December, but me and Chase like worked on some of her vocals for the song. We might have to add more. We're not really sure. It's still being like in the works. There's a big chunk of it that's done. It's called Artificial Icon, which was going to be my title track, but like, or like the album title. But like as I like grew and progressed and like the year went by, like things change and like what I'm inspired by more changes. But it's called Artificial Icon. And it's very like EDM dubstep, like
I'm so fucking excited to hear that one.
it sounds
Like,
really good. It sounds so good.
As you've already said it and I've already said it, I'm obsessed with her and I'm obsessed with you.
All of the songs on this album.
I'm very excited. Or more so when we do get you down here for our new venue and you perform, I am going to make a request that you perform the song with Chase Icon so that I can learn Chase's part and perform.
Yes! Oh my god, yeah.
Yeah. With you.
It's so good.
My favorite thing that Aura told me most recently was that at all of the odd shows now, that when they do the runway at the end, that the new song that they do is Kill a Cop for Fun.
I forced the DJ for the longest to play Pretty as our runway song for us to introduce the girls back to the stage for our like bow outs and all that, the curtain call. But now all of them are like, I've been like, the rule is we're doing 911 until things are
Yes, I love that so much. Thank you. You're so supportive. I love it so much. Thank you.
I literally, like Hannah can attest, I bop your songs every second of the day, bitch. Like, I'm obsessed. I think they're so fun and so cool and so correct.
Thank you.
Speaking of support, that shirt you got for your birthday, I need one too. And where can we buy your merch?
My merch is on Bea Brat, BEABRAT.threadless.com. For now, I don't know if it's gonna move somewhere.
I want Threadless too. I want the same thing.
Yeah, I love Threadless because it's so easy. It does the work for you, like all that. So, I mean, I'm sure I would love to like find out more options that like work better and stuff, and like. But Threadless is like super dope, and I'm happy with the quality and stuff. So, for what it is.
Bea Brat, threadless.com.
Yeah.
And I will be buying one shortly, not tomorrow because I don't get paid for a couple weeks.
Yeah, Hannah and
no, you're okay.
But I was really jelly when yours came.
I put it on.
Yeah.
I really loved the design that Micah Souza came up with.
That was really interesting.
I just like the rat. I like the rat on my shoulder. That's my favorite part. Is like the rat is like so cute.
Yeah, because now you like to claim being a rat, and I really enjoy it.
That's what I made a joke and was like, somebody was like, what would you call your fans? And I was like, rats. And I was like, I'm not kidding. Like I would really call them rats. And so it just stuck because they're like
destined to be a rat because the college I went to, our mascot was a river rat.
What is a river rat?
Oh.
I went to the Milwaukee Institute.
I feel like they're big.
And we were right next to the river, and our basement had rats. So I think it was more like irony of like we're a bunch of art kids, like fuck you, we're a river rat. But I
love that though. They're I feel like rats are like the like midget versions of like raccoons in a way, because they're seen as gross, they're seen as nasty, they like pick through the trash, they're always like in the dark like running away because they're scared, and I feel like I like relate with that. So what?
I'm just kidding.
Wait, what'd you say?
I said all of which I've seen you do, and then I said
No, I'm serious. Like that's why I was like, I relate with you hardcore because like I'm a night owl. I love the trash. I run really fast from like other people and things I'm scared of.
Really fast from the cops. And
yeah, that too.
Yeah, and
I will survive the nuclear holocaust.
And people hate me, so.
People are like, you have the bubonic plague. You can't be around me.
Yeah. But.
Brat started coronavirus. You heard it here first.
I did.
Heard that about you.
I did.
That's why I haven't had it yet.
I've been hanging out with.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
I love how we get so sidetracked.
I know we really do. Okay, let's do a few more questions about your music. So, would you say that like I know that we've talked a bit in the past about like our music influences and like how both of us and you too are into like rock and like metal and like all different facets of music. Would you say that there's any other like things besides the electronic sound that you've been given coming into this project?
I love Poppy.
Word.
I would love, it's very, very difficult though to get like those kind of sounds. I would love some like electric guitar in some of my songs, and I'm trying so hard to like do that, but it's hard to do that electronically rather than have someone actually play it and like feed it into like a sound system. So Poppy's like really dope. I just I love everything she does. I think it's really awesome. And then like other than that, like sonically, I'm really inspired by I love like Nine Inch Nails. I love any kind of like I love like witch housey stuff, like Crystal Castles. Like I love like crimes.
Yourself, or I guess in this album, slash, would you ever see yourself doing like a song that involves more screaming? Like
Yes, yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. I because I like smoke a lot and like I have chronic bronchitis. My lungs are shit. If I got corona, I'd be very scared, honestly, because of my respiratory system. But like I would love to do more screaming. I want to do more screaming. That's why I love Poppy's voice because it's so girly and she like involves such harsh like sounds into it. But it's like that thing where I love like the juxtaposition. She's like this cute, innocent like girl, and then she has these like crazy, scary like visuals and like and sounds. Like it's really harsh, and she'll do a little bit of like her own version of screaming and stuff. And I would love to tap into that and do that. Sometimes I wish I could just like I had a magical power to change my voice into like very feminine and high pitched, just so I can like make my songs sound how I picture them in my head. But I really love like industrial music, like dark electro, dark wave. I would expect, or I would hold on. I would expect people who listen to my music to expect other forms of music that are going to be very experimental with me. So like I would love to do like more witch house stuff, more darker stuff, like more of the stuff that I'm inspired by. And like, but also like people should know that on my album, I definitely have one song. I'm trying to get 2 songs where it's not me like rapping or like talking pop. It's like me singing with like something that makes sense to like the look of like Bea Brat, you know?
Work. I'm really enjoying that.
So I feel like, as we've talked about before, your whole thing, I guess, is
aesthetic.
Yes, that's the one. There we go. It's like that girly and that really dark side.
Darky, yeah.
Like that's that juxtaposition. What is like your favorite, or like whatever one you want to talk about, juxtaposition of sounds or genres of your song?
911 is the main one, with like the beginning and then the very end it being so slow. I think that's the
transition. It's so sickening.
Yeah, it's so good. And like when Ricky made it, he was very inspired by Kanye West and how he does like outros that are like a 180 of the song.
Yeah.
So I think that's like the main one, because throughout the album they're pretty consistent. And like the songs are pretty. I would love to do more stuff like that in the future. I think it's something that's probably why I love Poppy's music, because she has like the heavy guitars, but then it'll be very sing-songy, like through the hook.
I kind of imagine you as being somewhere between Poppy and Rico Nasty.
Oh, I love that. Yes.
Oh, I would that too. What the fuck?
Listen, a dream goal of mine is to work with Rico Nasty, and like I would love to work with Poppy too, but I think me and Rico would sound sick on a track together.
Yes.
So
I would be more than gagged. I would be
I mean, same. I'd probably cry if like that ever happened.
Full ass diaper.
Yeah.
But you know, like, you never know what the future holds. I never thought I'd work with fucking Evie or Aja.
Totally.
Yeah, I would.
Again,
Rico's so dope.
Sick.
Have you heard iPhone?
I haven't seen the video, but I've heard the song.
Oh, the video's cute, but the song is really cute too. But yeah, Rico is just like so fucking cool, and like her style.
If I were to make music, I would want to make music with either Rico or Cupcake, honestly.
Yes, I love Cupcake too. I love that. Like, The thing I love about Rico is just like her harshness. Because she looks really good. Her style is so good. And like every photo she drops on Instagram and stuff is like, like from head to toe, she looks good.
Moment. But then she's like,
yeah. That's why I love it. Yeah. That actually, Rico Nasty is what inspired me to do Pretty. Like when I first produced like the original version, I was like sitting there in my room and I was like, I was like, I really want a song that's like very Rico Nasty, and so I did Pretty, and like,
I'm obsessed with that because one of my favorite songs of all time is "Smack a Bitch" by Rico.
Yeah.
And I'm also really into "Cold" by Rico. That none of these bitches as cold as me.
Yeah.
Me.
Rico's just so good.
Yeah, for sure. That's really sickening. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Really cool.
Yeah.
I love that.
I love that.
Are you dropping this on all platforms, or is it just going to be on a few, or like?
Yeah, I'm dropping it on everything. I'm trying to get physical CDs made, and I want like a limited, like maybe 20, 30 actual like vinyls.
I will buy one because I've been buying vinyls and hanging them on my wall recently, and Hannah has a vinyl player. I was just gonna
say you best buy one so we can play it on my record player.
I would love that.
Hang that shit on my wall.
So we have two of the very limited copies already. You heard it here first, everyone.
Yeah, everyone else.
If I can get it, I feel like I just want to, if I can get it, it's not a promise. I need to figure out, I don't even know anything about the process.
Totally.
I know physical like CDs are definitely like like an option.
CDs too, so
please do. Yeah, I would love that. That would make me so happy. But
die if you had a like hot pink sparkly vinyl.
Yeah, but what if it's hot pink and sparkly, but there's like, this is just like, I just thought of it this minute, because I love the juxtaposition of everything. It should have like a lightning bolt through it of like dark, like black glittery shit, like trying to creep out of the middle of it. Like, so that's what I would want, is like something like that.
I wish I could fucking remember whose vinyl this was. Maybe it was like
it was mine.
Dumbass Vampire Weekend or some shit. And it was like a white vinyl, but the inside of it had like fucking red liquid, so it looked like it was blood. And I was like, a pink vinyl with
did it move?
Liquid? Yeah, I think so.
That's gaggy.
That's crazy.
I don't even know how that
works. That sounds really expensive to get made, though.
Probably.
Yeah.
Future date, I'm going to Google, and I will get back to you.
Yeah, let me know. I really
know that you need this.
if vinyls are like really expensive though, but I'm able to get a couple, I will definitely like send you one.
I will pay $80 for your vinyl
for sure. Like,
not
oh my god, that's so much. Well, I'm gonna figure it out. I don't know.
It costs $20 to produce, and then you gotta make some money. So
I could also, I know that if they're like, you have to buy them in bulk, I think something that I could do is put together like a pre-order process. I also want to see like, I'm definitely going to come out with the album before that stuff happens, because I want to see like, because if it like doesn't do very well, I don't want to invest that money into it, or like
we saved the pink
exactly
vinyl
for 10 years, 5 years down the road when you're on
or a deluxe version. Like where I could maybe like put out like 5 more songs or something with it. Yeah. I never told you guys the other version of 911.
Oh yeah. What is it? Yeah, sorry.
Okay, so I don't know if you know who this person is, but you might, because their songs are performed like a lot, like especially in the drag world, because they're mostly remixes. But it's by B. Ames. Do you know who that is? Yeah, it's like she's, so it's like very like ballroom Vogue, like fast paced, like
all the remixes of Drag Race songs, has she not?
Yeah, I think so. I believe, or maybe I know she's done like,
or she's worked with Drag Race girls. I know that much.
There's this remix that she's done. I think she's worked. Her stuff has like hundreds of thousands of views on YouTube. Wow. So I'm like, it's I'm excited because I really wanted a version of 911, and maybe I might reach out to other like remixers just to see if they're interested. But like, I want a version that sounds nothing like the original, at least sonically. What is it?
I think they've done Gaga remixes before.
You know that song that's like, I don't know if you know this, but there's one that she remixed where it's like, can I get a bump? Do 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 do. Can I get a bump?
Can I get a bump? Because
Yeah.
all the queens love to do the white powder number where they blow it. And
Yes,
then,
yeah, she did that one. Yeah, she did that one. So like, I'm just really excited to see what she does. And she also has, so there's a verse I recorded for the original version. What?
What do your fingers say?
They say a cab.
Oh.
I thought I clocked that.
Is that new or?
Yeah, I got it recently, and the guy that actually did it put all of the funds for it towards Black Lives Matter.
Here.
So yeah, it went to the Columbus Freedom Fund. Yeah. What was I talking about though?
Sorry,
forget.
I know, I totally got
We're talking about the remix and how you want to go further into making songs that don't sound like your own.
For like remixes, yeah.
Yeah.
I know. I feel like I had a really good point and then I forgot it.
And then I distracted everything. Yeah, what
I don't remember.
Wonderful weather we're having.
Oh, I'm also really excited. I'm really excited because my album art was done by, you know the song Sadie Likes Crazy Girls, but he hates it. Okay, so like the girl that sings that song, her name is Too Poor. And she started following me on Instagram because I did her song, and she actually like graphically designed my album cover.
Work. And that's not released yet either, is it?
That's awesome.
No, I haven't I'm putting out the album cover, the track list, and the release date all on the same day, on September 1st.
Work.
But a lot of people know her because she's in a song with Brooke Candy, and then she also, she's dating Kill Station, which not that many people know of. But Kill Station's music is real. I mean, like, when I say not that many people know of, I mean, like, it's not like fucking like A-list celebrity.
Definitely. Like I mean,
something.
I know like one song.
Yeah.
I don't even know like enough to be like, oh, I know
Yeah.
who it is. You know
Their music's really good. And a lot of people also know her because she dated Lil Peep. So they were like a thing for a minute.
That's what I was thinking of. Because Morgan is obsessed with Peep and is her.
People are really nasty to her for it because like obviously like we know how fandoms are. Mm-hmm. And they get really crazy and they read into stuff, but she's literally such a sweet person. And like I messaged her to ask if she would be involved in my album somehow, and she said she wanted to graphically design it, and I was like shook. And other than that, we've talked through DMs like a few times, and she would share like when I would perform, and then she's like, yeah, I'll do it, and we're gonna like, let's just FaceTime after you have the photo shoot for it, and we'll go through the photos and figure it out. And we ended up being on FaceTime for like 3 or 4 hours. Like, and we only probably talked about like the music or like the album cover for 30 minutes. The rest of the time we talked about like life and stuff. And she's so supportive. She's such a nice person, and she's so fucking down to earth. And another thing I want to comment on is like I'm thankful. This might sound like weird, but I am really thankful in a strange way for these things, because I think they wouldn't have happened without the pandemic, because all these people have more free time than normal. Yeah, I don't want to say I'm thankful for the pandemic.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, so, but it's also really nice seeing these people who are willing to work with me when I don't have like that many followers, when I'm still like growing and trying to brand myself.
I think that although maybe you don't have a ton of followers, but I think that you are one of the most talked about queens that I've heard of. You know what I mean? Like, I think
I don't think so.
Because like when you before you booked me, I knew about you because of the shovel incident. You know what I mean? But I didn't know, like, oh, that's Bea Brat, like, da-da-da. But I was like, oh, I've heard about this queen, and then you messaged me, and I was like, oh, work. And then like you dropped the Paris Hilton Dead in Dubai.
Yeah.
That's pretty. And then you dropped the remix with Aja. Like, I think you've had plenty of like articles and experience that are noted by people about you, that I think that even though you don't have a shit ton of followers, you still have a following that has media attention on you right now. You know what I mean?
Well, and I think regardless of all of that, those people regardless of your following, their response, they can see that talent and that drive and that icon that you are.
I'm really thankful because I've literally been working on music since like middle school days, like, and it's always been such a huge passion of mine. And to be able to experience this like success in a way, like, to me it's like success, but to be able to experience that because of my music, not even just drag, like, because of my music, it's so validating. It makes me feel so good because there really would be those days.
Longer than you've been working on drag.
Yeah, and there'd be those days where I really like felt like, okay, more people are paying attention to me because I'm performing in drag than I would just with like a song of mine. So it would make me feel like, is my music not good enough? So I think like this really like helps validate that. And no, I don't need it, you know, but it's really nice and it's like reassuring. Yeah, absolutely.
You're on the right path, for sure.
Yeah. So.
I love that.
Oh my God.
So is your whole album already finished, or are you still working on a few? Besides the ones that you already said that you were waiting to hear back from, are you finished with everything on your side?
So I'm gonna just like name them real quick for you. I have a song called Mary with the Cleaver, which is very peaches.
I've heard that one. Very good.
I sent it to you, yeah?
You sent me that one, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, Mary with the Cleaver. I actually just sent it to, I have an artist, her name is Kit Major. She's doing the chorus, like, and then she's doing a bridge on it that's been added. And then I have this song called She Devil, which is like really good. That was the one I was gonna show you.
Well, feel free to. My DMs are open.
You know what I'll do? I don't really want people to hear it because it'll probably be bad quality, and I don't really want to edit it in because I'm redoing my vocals for one of the verses because I'm not happy with it. But I want to send it to you on like Facebook so you can hear it and tell me what you think about it. But so I have She Devil, which is featuring this artist named Peanut, who is like really fucking cool. I've tried to like choose a lot of like underground, like supportive like friends of mine that have like a lot of talent that I think should be heard.
Totally.
But She Devil, I have a song called Formaldehyde. That's like a slower guitar, like sadder song, like ballad. And then I have a song called Eat the Rich with this artist. His name is Baby Boy. He's from Texas. He's really fucking good. He's so good. And then let me think. I think I have a song with this producer named VZE, and they've worked with like Aisha Erotica and like some other people. And it's like a really like cunt track. I'm not really sure. These are like some that I'm like trying to finalize. I have a song with Maxi Glamour that we're working on, and then
Maxi Glamour was in Dragula season 3. She was the one that was painted blue.
That's the one I didn't watch.
Oh yeah, you didn't.
That song was rude.
Yeah. You're right.
They were the one.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, no, it's okay. I mean, well, I can't say it's okay, but anyway, yeah.
But you are correct. That's my bad.
Yeah.
Painted in blue.
I'm trying to think if I have any more. I'm in talks with people. But yeah, I'm just like, honestly, here's the thing, like, I want to have as many tracks as possible to like really surprise people and be like, oh, here's a bang.
Like, this is a full thing. It's not.
Yeah, and like collaborate with as many people, but I'm
4 songs. It's like we're really going hard.
Yes, and I also want, at the same time, I'm not going to put out anything I'm not happy with or I feel like doesn't go like 100. So whatever that number ends up being, it's definitely like 12, like 11, 12. But if it ends up being 15 or like 16, then that's cool. As long as I feel like they go hard, they're sick, like I'm happy with it. Yeah.
Feel proud of it, for sure.
Exactly. Yeah. Like, but we'll see. Like, there's still a lot up in the air, but I have until the 1st or 2nd week of September to be like fully done. But I've been like trying to almost like every other night, I've been working on something new, whether it be actually physically recording vocals or it's like messaging someone, like figuring out how a beat should sound that they're producing, or like messaging someone to see if they'll collaborate or whatever. So I'm just making sure that this project is good, but at the same time, I knew if I didn't like set my foot down and say it needs to be out by this date, it was never gonna happen. Because I always said, "Oh, I'm coming out with an album. I'm coming out with a mixtape," and like I had to finally be like, and I think
this
that's
is
why
when I need to do it.
Yes, and I feel like at the same time, I used to be so mad when famous musicians would be like, "I'm sorry, guys, my album's not coming out actually until like next month." Like, and I'd be like, "Fuck you, like, bitch! Like, why? Like, you're." Yeah, and now I'm experiencing it myself, and I'm like, oh shit, because I really have been working on this album for like a year now, I think. So, but I'm not gonna release anything half-assed, but there will be like something, because I can also, like how we talked about earlier, if I release like 12 songs and I'm happy with it, if I want to do more, I can come out with a deluxe, like special version of it.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Are you planning on any further music videos for any songs?
So I'm actually like talking to this person that filmed Evie's new music video, and the person that filmed her video is like really cool, and like we just kind of like hit it off because they found 911 because of Neurotica being on it, and them also living in Denver, and we've been in talks of like doing something. This 911 was really stressful. Totally. Yeah,
and it was really nice, and we loved it, and we watched it like literally every day. I shit you not. The other day, Troy and Morgan watched it outside, and then came in and we watched it on our TV, and like we sung karaoke, and then before we went to bed, we watched it.
And then I
love that.
Today we watched it 3 times.
Yeah,
Morgan. So we're 90% of your YouTube. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Yeah, today Morgan demanded to watch it twice in a row, and I was like, get her more views.
Yeah, that was like,
that makes me so happy.
Died and fell asleep, but
no.
But we still watched it and cried.
That's good. That's what I mean. At the end of the day, I also need to take myself out of like the mindset of being so like super hard on myself. But yeah, overall, like I'm happy with it.
It turned out fucking phenomenally.
It's very organic. It's natural.
I liked it. Also, that little axe is
Thanks.
like where the fuck is that?
I love that thing. I got it off Amazon.
It's the most beautiful shit I've ever seen.
I got it off Amazon for $26, I think.
Worth it.
And it literally like comes with like a detachable like knife that you can hook on the top and stuff. Yeah.
I was like, wait, that axe has like a really beautiful pattern. What's going on?
Oh yeah, it's
watching it for like the 4th time, and I was like, wait, that's really pretty.
That axe.
It's downstairs, otherwise I would show you, but literally on the front of it is a wolf. Like, which is even cooler because of the song, like, but it's hard to see it, but like, it just, the world works in mysterious ways, and like, it was the first like black axe that popped up on Amazon, so I was like,
have something in your lyrics. That's so cool.
Yeah.
That's really sick.
But yeah.
I feel like we've got a lot of content for us to
need to go to bed.
Go for. Is there anything you'd like to expand upon or close us out with, or any questions for us or yourself or anything?
Sing us out. No, I'm just kidding. You
don't
do
that.
911. No, I'm just kidding.
That
was the I feel like we covered a lot of topics. We talked about a lot of serious stuff that I think people need to be talking about more in the beginning. I spill a little bit too much information about my album and stuff.
Last week, me and Stiggs and Morgan were going off about Aiden Zane about local performers for like 30 minutes that I gotta crop out for tomorrow. So like, ain't no worries. Like.
Okay, that makes me feel better. I mean, it's always better to have too much than not enough. So. Yeah, I feel like I covered all the bases. Like, I'm really excited for this album. I'm excited for, like, the remix and everything. I'm, like, excited that you, like, give a shit enough because, like, you guys have been, like,
I give a shit. Like, Bea, I wish I could, like, verbalize how much I am obsessed with your range of art. Like, I am obsessed with your music. I'm obsessed
all
with
day
your,
fucking long.
face. I'm obsessed with your work. I fucking love you, bitch. Like,
I love you too.
How much I am obsessed with what you have done since I've known you. Like, you're incredible.
So are you.
Try it once in a blue moon.
I'm really bad at taking compliments too, so like I get super awkward and like bashful and stuff. So I'm just like, but I know I really do appreciate it, and like you guys are like for real repping me hard, and I'm like, whatever. Like I'm just like here, like doing the same shit as you, like so like. But it just makes me really happy, and like thank you for like doing this with me and like interviewing me, even though we're just having like a kiki. But
we're just talking, but it's
all right. I have the
source.
Color.
Oh yeah, what is your favorite color?
What's your favorite?
I don't have one. It depends on what it's on, but I really like purple. I like black. I like red.
Purples and blues.
I sit here and I list like every color off the rainbow.
I know, yeah, you're
orange. I like
orange. Sometimes
I really like pink. When it comes to drag, I like pink and like you know what I really love? Like pink and like a throw up pea green.
You are
like those two together look so.
A lot of like yellows, and I'm really jealous of because I can't wear yellows in the same way.
I hate the set of my favorite color is pink and throw up pea green. However, I've seen that number together on you, and I'm like, you're right, that is your favorite color. But I just like don't like hearing it out loud.
No. But like that's the amazing thing about it.
Around.
That's the amazing thing about it, though. Again, it's about the juxtaposition.
Exactly.
You know, the colors.
So it's two absolute units talking about juxtaposition.
Yeah, juxtaposition.
A third unit.
I'm obsessed with juxtaposition. Even the word, it's just fun to say.
Obsessed with, get into it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yes.
Or not.
I'm literally like, I'm about to pee my pants.
Yeah, me too. So, in that case, thank you.
It's my bedtime.
Yeah, thank you so much.
It is your bedtime.
Yeah. It was incredible to hear about your upcoming project and talk about everything that's been going on with police brutality and our opinions on them. Thank you so much for your opinions and your voice on that, and thank you so much for giving us insider information towards your project that you're about to release in a few weeks.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for having me. I'm really excited to see the episode with Stixon come out, and I'm excited to see who else you bring on to like do and like.
I have so many plans. I'll message you about who else I'm planning on having come on, but I have
I would love that. Bye. Love you. Bye.